I'll tell you what, this is October. It happens to be Dwarfism Awareness Month, and we're happy to be joined by, this morning, a friend of mine, Dave Zito, is here, along with his lovely daughter, 1-year-old Jaxine. Good morning, Dave.
G'day, g'day.
Good to have you here, my friend. And Finlayson is here with Little People of Ontario, one of the ambassadors, and her daughter, Zoe Mile, is here. Morning, how are you?
Good.
Good to have you on the show today. First of all, this is a new experience for you.
Yes.
Going through this, but it's not for you.
Not anymore.
Tell me about Little People of Ontario and the association and that sort of thing.
Well, it's an association, it's grassroots, it's all about supporting one another.
Yeah.
So it's about, for new families, it's about connecting with families to tell them you have a dwarf child, this is what it means to us, and we're here to help you with medical
group,
side.
right?
It's a support group.
It's fantastic.
It's fabulous.
Zoe, you're 14, right?
Yep.
Yeah? I was reading a little bit about, actually you guys sent us a lot of material, and I appreciate that because it gives us a little background because, you know, you don't know what happens, but you have a great outlook on your situation, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really change how I face life. It's I just like to have fun, and that's what I do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to you, right? What's the reaction of people that you run into, like at school and stuff? Is it okay? Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine. They're all really nice. They just welcome me like I'm just...
See, the thing is to me, and I look at it this way, and from reading what you wrote about yourself and about your own experiences is, you're just a person who happens to be smaller.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Isn't that it in the end?
Bingo.
Dave, for you, it's you know, it's a learning experience right now, and you've had that situation for a year now. Give me your initial reaction to finding out that your daughter had one of the 200 forms of dwarfism on the planet, right?
Yeah. And she has achondroplasia, which is the more generic form. I think about 80% of dwarfism can be associated with achondroplasia. Again, it was a big surprise for us. My wife had a fantastic pregnancy.
Yeah.
The birth was great, and about a couple days after, they started measuring her limbs like they should, and the pediatrician noticed that her head circumference was a little bit off, maybe a little bit larger than what it should be.
Right.
So they took a precaution, sent us to CHEO for an ultrasound to check for hydrocephalus and make sure there wasn't spinal fluid building up on the brain. And after that scan, there wasn't. But they followed process, and we had a follow-up with the doctor at CHEO. My wife went to that call. It was about a week later. I went home thinking that she had a clean bill of health.
Right.
But they undressed her, and the geneticist said, lift up her arm. So
right, and that was the telltale sign?
And that was the sign. And the geneticist said, oh, your child's a dwarf.
Yeah.
And my wife, French-Canadian, said, a what? A dwarf. Oh, a little person, a dwarf.
Right.
So it was quite the shock,
Right.
and we were very confused.
Yeah, oddly enough, the facts and figures are very interesting, by the way. That regular-sized people aren't immune, obviously, to having a dwarf as a child, right? And it could go a number of different ways. Like sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's not.
Right.
Sure.
Well, it's dominant. Once you have a dwarf gene, then it tends to be a dominant gene.
After the fact.
After,
but it can come up anywhere.
It's a genetic mutation otherwise.
Yeah, so Dave and his wife are regular-sized people.
Yep.
Right, and they have a dwarf, exactly, and have a dwarf child. And she's absolutely marvelous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What I read, you know, some of the things, again, that you guys sent to me, and one of the things that struck me, Zoe, was this. There's, you know, many people use different words to describe little people, and little people is okay, LP is okay. But I love the last line of all the descriptions of things that are okay to say. People want to be called by their names, right? So that makes sense to everybody, and you know, you don't have to worry about what to. You know, when there's a little person in your company, or you meet someone who's a little person, why not just use their name, which I'm sure you like more than anything.
Yes.
Is that right? Now, has it stopped you from doing any of the things you like to do? I know you're heavily involved in sports. You love sports.
Yeah, I do sports. I ski competitively in the winter, and then I do sports with the Little People of America, which they organize tournaments, and I go participate in those, and they're really fun. And I just do a lot of extracurriculars. I'm a girl guide, and I play violin, and
Yeah, again, we get back to you're just smaller. That's it, right?
Yeah.
There is an association. How do people get in touch, Ann?
Well, we're on a website, so lpo.on.ca.
Right.
If you look up Little People of Ontario, you'll find us.
Yeah.
I have a role of ambassador, which really just means that if anyone in the area wants to talk to another family who knows about dwarfism, that's the role I play.
Right. And I know you guys got in touch right away, like the day after.
The greatest thing. We were very confused, like I mentioned before, nervous. We reached out to LPO. They put us in touch with Anne and invited us to her home. We spoke, met Zoe right away.
Yeah.
And after that, we had 2 days where we were nervous, crying. We just came down to a lower level, tolerable level where we could just function as parents and move on. And it's all been great since then.
So the future looks bright for your beautiful daughter.
Yeah, it's 2012, and we know all the
exactly.
There. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming today.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Guys. Nice to meet you all.
Great.
Thanks very much.